Good morning. It's just after midnight here in Iceland. I've driven down to Vik, which is the southernmost town in Iceland. And I'm on Black Beach, as you can see, and it's just amazing. I've never experienced anything like this before. The contrast between the black soil, the black sand and rocks and the breaking waves is just incredible, so beautiful. And that's what we're here to capture tonight. There's also quite a famous crop of rocks out to the right hand side as you look out to the sea, and that's also going to be part of our image tonight. I've set up here on the beach. I'm probably somewhere between 10 and 20 metres back from the breaking waves, and that's probably because the waves are quite unpredictable. You've got to be pretty careful when you're on these beaches that you don't want to be swept out. It's all right on this side. Evidently on the other side of the peninsula it can be a little bit worse. I've set my camera up with the composition that I want. I'm just going to talk you through it now. So with the jagged rocks, hang on a sec, waves just come in, so I'm just going to time that now. Oh yeah, that's nice. So I've got the jagged rocks along the coast there on the 1/3 coming in from the left-hand side of the image. So the contrast between the foam that's being pushed up by the waves and the black rock is creating a beautiful, distinct line that leads the eye from the left-hand side of the image across to the right. Then I've got this cliff, this beautiful cliff line coming in from the right-hand side, and the base of it and also the top of it is creating a leading line from the right-hand side across, intersecting the line from the left and then carrying the eye off into the distant on the left-hand side of the image. And then finally I've got the crop of rocks where the eye of the viewer will hopefully arrive at. And that's the idea. Because these lines are going left to right, obviously I'm going for a landscape shot. How wide that is really depends on what it looks like in Lightroom. More than likely it's going to be a black and white because of the contrast and because of the light that I've got at the moment. Even though these cliffs have got green foliage in amongst the rocks, it's unlikely that I'm going to be able to get that out even in post-processing. So it's a black and white, striking contrast, leading lines left and right. The eye of the viewer will start at the bottom of the image and then be led up into the left-hand corner where those jagged rocks are. Right, let's talk about the setup that I've got. So I've got the filter mounter on here, but you'll notice that I don't have the polarizer on the front. That's because I just don't have enough direct light or glare. In fact, any glare in the rocks in the foreground will kind of highlight them in the image, and that'll actually probably look quite nice. So that's why I've taken the polarizer off. But I have got the Soft Grad 0.9 filter, and that just allows me to darken the sky just a little bit. See, what I'm going for here is a little bit of a moody image, a black and white moody image, and I don't want the sky to be blown out. I want, there's a little bit of cloud there, and I just want that little bit of detail and moodiness and drama in the top of my image. So that's why I've got the filter on there, and you'll see that I've angled it. There it is there, and it's at an angle. and that corresponds to the angle of the cliff face. So I've adjusted the filter so it's in line with the top of those cliffs. Now, let's talk about settings. I'm on ISO 100, obviously that's where I start. And while I started on f8, I adjusted it to f11 just because I wanted to bring that the light down a little bit, so decrease the aperture. I've got a shutter speed at the moment of 1.6 of a second. It was on 1 second, and I found that I just wasn't getting enough movement in the water, and I'll talk about that in a second, but 1.6 or 1.6 of a second or 2 seconds is giving me a nice shutter speed that allows me to capture the movement of the water. Finally, I just want to talk about timing. What I'm doing is I'm waiting for the wave to break, obviously, and then push up onto the beach and reach as far as it'll go. It's only after a second or two after it's started to recede back into the ocean, that's when I take the image. I'm getting a nice line at the top of the foam, and then I'm getting this nice effect as the water is drawn back into the ocean. It's almost like a misty effect. The black sand then starts to show through the white foam, and it's really quite effective. I've also got a little bit of mist that's rolled off the cliffs and is sitting around the water and the base of the cliffs. That effect that I'm getting with the foam being drawn out into the ocean and the mist that I'm picking up in amongst the cliffs is just adding to the drama as well as the clouds. So I'm really happy with this image. Here comes another one. So I'll just give you a bit of an idea of when I take the image. I'm waiting for the water to be pushed up like that, and then it's starting to recede, and about now I take the shot. And that's what it looks like. Anyway, I'm going to play around here for a little bit longer because there's different waves all the time breaking along the beach here. And so I'll take a few more and I'll choose the best image in Lightroom. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this sort of content, then please consider subscribing. And if you do, make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload my next video. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching.